Hello and welcome to episode 4 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here in Cycle 7, Day 2 with the Iron Teeth. Want to let you guys know right off the bat, this episode is sponsored by Mechanistry, the developers of Timberborn. So, thanks very much Mechanistry for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video, as well as the rest of the beginning of this series. If you want to check out the game for yourself, there's a link in the description and the pinned comment that will take you to the page on Steam, and it'll let the devs know that I'm the one that took you there. So, please do check that out if you haven't already. Highly recommend you doing so. And we're going to get right on into it today by firstly figuring out exactly what it is we're going to do. I'm kind of torn between things. So let's go ahead and pause. There's a lot of stuff to get to that I would love to do as quickly as possible, but I think there's a couple different ways to go about it. One of them, primarily interested in getting farming areas expanded. We can either put another dam up here to kind of raise the water level a little bit, green a little bit more of this area, or we can try to rush explosives by building an explosives factory somewhere over here in our industrial area that we started last episode. So I think probably the best option in terms of getting stuff done and advancing through our tech tree would be to go with the explosives. But I can't help thinking that we also are going to want to put another dam up here to try and keep a little bit more water up where the pumps are and get a little bit more land greened, because, I mean, if this goes up another block, we're probably going to get most of this area nice and green, and we can relocate stuff pretty much wherever we want. This entire half of the map has not really been utilized at all, with the exception of our burgeoning industrial area here. So, you know, well, I can't wait for you guys to leave comments because I have to record the rest of this video and then publish it before you can comment on it. But I think most of you are probably going to want to see explosions. So we'll go ahead and try to figure out the best place to do that. I know I talked last episode about bringing power across here and then maybe up to this area because we do have vertical power shafts now native into the game. So that wouldn't be very hard. But I can't help thinking that maybe we might be relying a little bit too much on some of our building materials to make that happen. So I truthfully do not know what would be best. All I know is that we have to start doing it because we have a lot of bad water. I did pause this bad water pump because, well, we're not using it. So we might as well just let the beavers go and do other stuff. But I think, grand scheme of things, we're probably going to be glad that we built up here and keep this area mostly dedicated to bad water. So I'm just going to go ahead. And do it, I think. Even though the dynamite is going to require another 600 science, this will give us something to do. Like we need stuff to do, right? But it'll give us a way to sink a little bit of metal and bad water into production without having to build extra storage for stuff. So if we go ahead, rotate this around here, there's a bunch of different ways we could go about doing this. I think probably it's just going to be best to go ahead and put this guy right about here. Go ahead and unlock that with 400 science. And that way we can kind of I guess reverse engineer how we want to build this thing. Upward power shaft here, vertical power shaft, well, right on top of that. And then what we're going to have to do is bring somebody out to this corner to build all of these. They should be able to do that. I don't think it's going to be a problem. But we will we'll give them a chance to take care of all of their stuff. Right, like so. I'll put another upward here. And depending on how we want to do this, we might actually be able to have a building right on top of this. I'm not exactly sure. It should, I guess if we do one of these kind of things, it should connect power-wise. But I'm not really willing to 100% commit to that. So, probably going to be best for us to just, you know, do one of these numbers and make sure that we're not being completely dumb about it. Of course, we have to get power across here, and that is why we have access to fun stuff like this. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult. We'll just pop one of these guys here and here. Straight power shaft, and then straight power shaft there. And I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this in case I want to put a couple of other buildings here. And we'll let them take care of that as they feel so inclined. But we're looking really good for most of our other stuff. We got 1,000 food, even though half of it's berries. We did massively increase our production of fermented cassavas and soybeans, but we don't have a storage for fermented soybeans yet. So we're going to need to start shuffling things around here. Of course, this is kohlrabies, this is fermented cassavas, this is berries, this is gears, which now have a place over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and swap this over to fermented soybeans, and we'll let them do what they've got to do, put this thing in triple speed, and move on that way. We, of course, have our exercise plaza here with basically nobody using it, but they should be coming in here pretty quick now that the workday is done. Get their stretching and aerobics and all that taken care of. And off we go to do other stuff. Well-being is still only average of 8 right now. It's been flickering a little bit between 8 and 9. So there's definitely a lot left to do there. Aesthetically speaking, we haven't really gotten too much into it. I did say I wanted to go a little bit deeper into aesthetics earlier, but the temptation to just focus on industrial stuff is very, very strong. Very strong, so I don't want to necessarily get too far away from that. But, like you guys have discussed in the comments a little bit, having a higher well-being earlier in the game can reap a lot of great benefits in terms of beavers working more efficiently, moving around faster, and living longer, which, you know, generally helps everything else. So, while we're not going to be able to do everything, we are going to be able to do something. Even if it's just a little tiny bit of progress, that's what we need to be doing. So, in terms of everything else, I think the amount of canola we have is perfectly fine. For where we are now, we probably don't need to have so much planted, but there's literally no reason, unless you need the land it's on, no reason to ever unplant canola, because there's going to come a time where you're going to really, really wish you had it, if you don't already. So instead, we should try to find another place to plant some soybeans, because those are definitely going to take longer to grow. And I think the best thing to do is going to be, now that we've, you know, fully protected this thing from bad water, I think it's probably going to make the most sense to have this area over here fully dedicated to soybeans. Now, I know we have kohlrabies here that are being grown, planted, whatever, so I stopped replanting this little bit, and that should work. We don't need to abandon kohlrabies entirely, but now that we have, you know, better food, we don't need to focus so much on those. Just let these guys do what they've got to do. And of course, we can't forget about our pine trees. Somebody did leave a comment saying, hey, you haven't marked all your trees for cutting. Well, we're not cutting these. We're using them for pine resin. But there is a space up here that I did neglect to mark for cutting, so thank you for pointing that out. I just wanted to make sure we addressed why these are not marked for cutting. We need them, and we're going to have them at some point in this episode to be producing pine resin, because then we can take the pine resin and use the wood workshop to turn that into treated planks, which we need to go ahead and build irrigation barriers, which we need to keep everything else from getting annihilated by bad water. Everything takes time. The people who watch the Water Beaver series are screaming at me right now because I said that like 3 times an episode for 30 episodes. But there's a reason, and that's because it's true. And look at this. Power's already equipped here, ready to go. We just need to get 12 more metal blocks in, and we'll be good to go to start producing explosives, which is also a very exciting time. And I don't think we're really going to need a huge quantity of explosives, but we're going to regret not having them if we don't build storage. So we might as well just build the medium one. And if we think we have too many explosives, just shut the factory down. No reason to be spamming these little 30 capacity things all over the place. And like, well, why do I have so many dynamite stored everywhere? Well, that's because you didn't really plan very well. Hopefully we can avoid that. 10 more metal blocks here for the explosives factory, and then we're going to be getting some stuff done, folks. And hey, look at this. Now I've got room to plant some soybeans, and that's exciting. Of course, we'll have to keep up with this. I have been informed in the comments that corn has never required canola oil, so that's exciting because that means all that stands between us and having corn rations, which are very good mid-late game food, is building a food factory. And, you know, waiting the 10 days or whatever it is for the corn to grow, which I guess I could have looked instead of trying to guess. Oh, it's 10 days. Good. So I'm not that dumb with this. As we get more of this land irrigated and we get these things moved out elsewhere, then we'll be able to grow more crops in this area. We just, again, stuff takes time. It's the way it goes. But it is very good that we have this much power being generated now, which is way more than we need, because there is going to come a time where we're going to need even more, and it's going to be great that we already have what we have now. Going to be completely unavoidable. Now that I've got this plank situation really good under control here, we're going to go ahead and finish this large warehouse for the canola seeds, which is going to allow us to continue pulling this out of the ground. And then up here as well, going to have storage for other things. I had, again, kept that from being built because I was concerned about the quantity of planks and regular logs that we were on track to lose had we continued constructing those. We want to make sure these guys could do whatever they need to do. And hey, we already have an explosive. Yeah, we're making bombs over here. And we're going to be able to use those to great effect, hopefully, pretty soon. But there's a bunch of different stuff we can do with those. I was thinking, and a couple of you guys hinted at this as well in the comment section, we could blast this area down a little bit, which is going to naturally irrigate stuff a little bit more. I think maybe right along this line here would be a good way to do it. Obviously, it's going to take some time to get enough explosives to do that, but if we hook this all the way down, then that's going to be a lot more space for us to plant trees, and probably keep most of the farming in here. Or alternatively, if we feel so inclined, we can try to blast this out a little bit more, but I don't really think that's going to be a concern. So for right now, we'll probably cool it on focusing on blowing stuff up until we have a really good idea of exactly what we're working with. Now this area over here, I did see a comment saying that, hey, you should fill this in with dirt and use terraformers. And that's a good idea. But keep in mind, the terraformer, the dirt excavator, whatever you want to call it, there is no longer a terraformer building. That was removed a while ago, but the dirt excavator runs on extract, which is made with bad water, and comes out of the centrifuge, which is something that we could and, you know, probably should build here. But it's 600 science, and until we really need the extract, we're probably better off holding off on that, because there's so much other stuff that we could be using our science to unlock, like well-being things that are going to have a net positive benefit for our beavers, or decorations that'll make stuff look nice and appease the folks who want to see aesthetic build-minded things. I don't know that I'm ever really going to do a full aesthetic build playthrough. I tried one a long time ago, and I don't know. It's just I'm not really good at it. There's people that are a whole lot better than me at doing aesthetic things, so I don't need to really try to do something that I'm not good at just for the sake of doing it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try, but I'm not a visually creative individual when it comes to games like this. All that being said, we can still try to make stuff look nice. Doesn't mean we can't do it. Just temper your expectations a little bit. would be probably the right way to say it. So, what I would like to do now, we're looking really good on construction for this stuff. I feel like I need more beavers, but I'm kind of afraid to put too many more of these breeding pods in, because I don't know if that's going to end up being a smart choice or not. We got these guys living all the way over here. Like, maybe they need something to do or make up some lore about, like, you know, oh, what, like, say you're over here, like, what goes on over there? Like, oh, no, we don't talk about that place. I don't know. I'm not good at coming up with stories either. But that's fine. Maybe we should put some sort of a well-being thing over here. We already have the exercise plaza over there. Also, that's not a big enough space. But there are other opportunities for things like, swimming pools. Would be a very easy thing for us to put in a couple different locations along the river here if we felt so inclined. We just have to, you know, manage not to do anything too terribly dumb. This actually would not be a bad place for one if I were to put in some platforms here. In fact, no, don't use the science to unlock recreational thing. Look, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Say it with me. It's going to be okay. Our beavers are going to have a good time. And they're not going to get infected by swimming in this because we have positive flow this way, that way. There will only ever be fresh, clean, beautiful mountain water coming into the swimming pool here. So that will be a wonderful way to take care of all that stuff. And look, pine trees are growing up, and we're almost a third of the way through the growth cycle for the resin, which is cool. Because now I get to remember that I just spent science points that I could have used to unlock the Tapper Shack. About 30 seconds after I said, no, it's going to be okay because we're spending our science on things that make everything better. It's okay to be wrong. And if you're wrong, you have to be able to admit it and own your mistakes. So that is, I guess, the position that I find myself in at this exact moment. I need to find a place to put a Tapper Shack once I have the science to unlock it. I think it might as well just be right here because this is a nice little hole for it there. I have 27 explosives. I could go ahead. You know what? You know what? I mean, I can't research it yet, but I really want to blow this up. I think we're going to have to do it. But before we get there, we got all sorts of other stuff to do. So we'll plant those guys. That's going to be nice. I was going to say, hey, let's build a dam across here and just move on, get it over with, irrigate a whole bunch of land. But I just have to figure out exactly how that's going to work because this land down here is low. I could just go in between here like this. That honestly, that probably would work the best. It's going to look a little funky, but I think it's going to end up being fine. If I were to do that and then that, should work, should be okay. Give us a little bit more irrigation over here. Ah, see, this is already drying out. Now, why is that? Is that because I placed this this levee here? I don't know, I hope not. There we go. See, now we're cycling around a little bit. But now that they can come in and build the dam pieces, we should see this increasing. Yeah, see? That's exactly what I was hoping would happen. Good stuff. Good stuff. So these piles are going to need to move. The scrap metal pile. Oh, that's already full too. Well, that's awkward because now this has to be emptied. Logs and planks. Again, everything pretty much is over here. If we really felt like doing something, I could build another stack right here. I mean, honestly, that might be the way to do it. Just go ahead and duplicate everything here. We got logs, we got planks, we got scrap metal, we got regular metal, we got logs, and we got logs. So, I'm going to take this off at triple speed real quick because we're having some interesting surging occur. because we've altered the flow of the river here. But look at all this. Go ahead and have this set to no longer accept stuff. Now we have so much more green here. And so much more green over here. Well, not a crazy amount, but enough to make it worth moving these industrial piles to plant more crops. Which should be a good thing. This seems to be rotating about the same speed. I think we're okay there. These guys working on getting this built. We have enough logs right now for that to be a thing, so that's good. And 492 science, you know what that means. We're pretty close to having that tapper shack unlocked. And we are also not far away from having the pine resin actually come in. So now that I'm reasonably sure this isn't going to flood with bad water down here, I can turn the simulation speed back up. Oh, it's surging. It is definitely surging. Okay, why does it do this? I know the drought's coming in, so that will help solve this problem. But, wow, that is a lot. Alright. We gotta do something about this. That is a lot of surging. I think it's going to be time to replace this dam with, I don't know, maybe a sluice? Because, from what I understand, the dam building never changes anything. It's always going to look the same. But it more or less acts as an on-off switch depending on how high the water is behind it. Whereas a sluice gate, if we were to build one of those, which again is going to require science, but if we were to build one of these, then what that does is it's just always open or always completely closed. There's no in-between. Versus however the dam operates at like 0.66 or 0.5, whatever the level is. I've never really been able to remember exactly what the specific number is. But if we did that, we could just have one sluice and then a couple of levees around it and regulate based on the downstream depth. So maybe it's just, you know, the same garbage wrapped up in a different package, which is not great, but I don't know. I tend to do this a lot and then wonder why I break things. So I guess we'll just see. We'll just have to find out. But the only other thing I could think of that would, you know, solve that would be to just remove this dam right here. But if I do that, then there's no water retained whatsoever here. And that's, I don't think, what we want. Well, anyway, I have my science. The pine trees are in the process of growing. The tapper shack can be researched, and it can be built. I pause reflexively out of habit because I'm so used to the water beaver playthrough where we have 700-something beavers and it runs at like 8 frames per second, and pausing is sometimes the only way to be able to place something. But no, we're getting a beautiful 165 with down spikes to 82 right now. So we don't have to worry about performance concerns. And, oh, I thought these were empty. Boo. I fooled myself. This one is, though, so that can go away. And look, wow, there's green under here. We're going to be doing some corn growing here pretty quick. Eggplant, well, I guess we could do both, but since the corn recipe in the food processor, whatever building, does not require canola oil, that's going to be more stable long term. Maybe we don't need to be that worried about it. Maybe I'm just not thinking perfectly correctly. But we're going to get something accomplished here. And it is time to put in some platforms here, so we can access all of our storage. That'll be a nice, easy thing for them to do. Just make sure these get built correctly with all of the pathing. And And there we go. That is a decent use of space, I think. Soybean storage and cassava storage. Okay, we do have a couple cassavas in there. But now we have a drought of how many days where we're going to have no power? 6 days. 6 days, no power. Alright, well, we have 1,100 food going into it. That's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, now, I know I'm going to pause the game again. These aren't going to do anything. So what we'll end up doing... Well, maybe I shouldn't pause these because I'm definitely going to forget. What we have now is we have 4 extra beavers, I say as I pause the game again after running it for 2 seconds. And we need to do something about employing them. Now, you will notice this area is no longer completely occupied by ruins. In fact, we have a lot of extra space. And we have a lot of extra beavers that don't have anything to do. So, in order to take advantage of this, I'll go ahead and put a couple of inventors up here. Get those popped in there. Because we're also maybe going to have to relocate these guys. I'm not going to do it right now. But we're not too far away from the time when that would be taking place. Now I can put another one here. Or I can put another one here. Or I could put another one here. But regardless, it's not really going to matter because it's not wide enough to get a path past this anyhow. The other spot would be up here. I think, yeah, I can actually finagle this in such a way where I can put another one up here. Why is the game paused while you're doing this? Well, I'm trying to use our time in-game wisely. So that's what's happening there. Yes, I will prioritize these over the construction of our platforms here because I want to employ the beavers as quickly as possible. I will go ahead and get these guys marked down to minimum priority employment because long-term we don't need those to be there. But if there's nothing for the beavers to do because there's no water flowing to power buildings, then might as well have them hit the books. I was really hoping that these could get moved out of the way too. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, you know what? We're going to plant corn. Because that's going to take 10 days to grow, and hopefully by the time that's done, I'll be able to have food processing, which is another building to research. It's 300 science. Food factory I could very easily just put right here, and we could have a storage here and here on either side of the entrance. Could be good. The food factory is also a great building to construct because the sides, let me just, I know they can't get to this. Well, I can't place it anyway because I don't have the science, but the sides of the second story will conduct power. All 4 of them. So even above the doorway. So if you have to go across a path, for example, it's a great building to build because you can just put a platform and then a power shaft between them and you'll get power across a path. Or depending on what else is in the way, you could run it over a chasm or any manner of other stuff. There's a lot of cool opportunities to creatively exploit how the buildings in this game receive power, send power, and interact with each other in other ways. Like I needed to tell you that. You guys are pretty smart. But now we've got all these beavers, well, with the exception of these 2 that aren't running, twirling their little scientific sails here, and hopefully making some good research breakthroughs while we go and take care of all of the rest of this stuff. And doing laps in the pool. That's fun. What else can we do that doesn't have a whole lot of science requirement that's going to benefit our beavers? Oh, here's a possible one. Rooftop terrace. Right here. I know we're going to have to build a platform for that, but that is probably something we should have already done, and maybe this should have been a ladder instead. In fact, it definitely should have been a ladder instead, so ignore me saying, well, maybe it should have been a ladder. Well, no, it definitely should have been a ladder. Not maybe. We got to have confidence in our ideas, as long as they're good ideas. Confidence in bad ideas is not necessarily a good thing. But I digress. Hopefully, they can get the rest of this filled up. Scrap metal is getting taken out. It's not going to be super quick. But I think now that we're pretty much close enough, I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of these as corn here. And then I realistically should make this little bit. Oh, it's almost empty. This probably needs to be soybeans. Probably. And again, we got so much stuff to do. I'm not really sure exactly what we should get into first. But we have pine resin. We have pine resin. That's exciting. Because you know what that means. As if I needed to remind you, the wood workshop, as soon as we have 800 science, can get underway here. And I could put this here. I could build in this area over here-ish. Not entirely sure. But you know what? I just had an idea to try and solve our problem of flooding. Since, we're not using this anyway, why don't we take this warehouse out? Gasp! And, put some levees down. They're cheap to build. And it's going to help us, avoid tragedy by having the beavers get infected with stuff before their time. So that'll just become platforms, and then since, you know what? Apparently I just like talking out loud when things don't make any sense anyway. Let's leave this space open. Let's leave it open for the wood workshop, and instead build next to it. Because what if we did just straight through here with our dynamite? Oh, now would have been the time to do that. What am I doing? What am I doing, man? I got 1.7 days to make the dream happen. Let's, oh, man, oh, man. I missed a huge opportunity there. I'm not putting a staircase there. Yeah, let's do that. Except I don't have... Oh, man, I forgot about... Alright, you know what? If there was ever any doubt that these were not authentic me just flying by the seat of my pants because it's more fun to do it that way, then that should have tipped you off right there. That this is absolutely not planned. It's not scripted. I just do dumb things. It's the way it goes, folks. But, oh, wait, hold on. Gonna drive you guys insane doing this. Yeah, we just have to have the levees come out straight like this if that's what we're actually trying to do. Yeah, that's possibly gonna cause some other problems, but long term, I think this is actually gonna be the better way to go about doing it. Oh man, my brain is just completely shut off. I hate it when that happens. Well, at the very least... Oh, these are drying. That's... Oh, that's such a pain. Oh, man, I forgot I was gonna... Well, there's no way to avoid it. Planted all this corn, it's already dead. I'm upset. There's no way to get around it. Oh, the scrap metal. Alright, you know what? No. No, no. God, that is... Yeah, we're gonna unlock the dynamite, but I'll tell you what we're gonna do with it. It's time for irrigation. It's time for irrigation. We absolutely have to do it this way. Alright. Well, for those of you who don't know, the optimal irrigation area that I've found, people are going to argue for different things until they're blue in the face, and that's just how it always works. But in my experience, the best thing to do is a 3x3. But I can't do that in this exact spot just yet, so I'm going to do this little square with a notch cut in the corner, blast it down, and then, which we also have to research, a fluid dump. And then on top of the fluid dump, we will put either a farmhouse or an inventor. But we got to get that taken care of. And I also now have to come over here and blast this whole mess out. And I was gonna do the thing oh man. There does come a point where it becomes almost impossible for you to, you know, still do things in a flawless fashion, and I've clearly reached that. So apologies to those of you who were expecting something else, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Just need this one little bit of dynamite to get placed, and then we can, yeah. Beautiful. Now we got a hole. We're gonna pause the game again. Then I'm gonna put right here a fluid dump, right like that, and that's gonna dump water, hopefully. Yeah, that's the one I have selected. Gonna dump water, and then on top of that, we have room here to put, I think it's gonna make the most sense to put a farmhouse, because then this one can go away, and all of the irrigation that's gonna happen as a result of this getting built is going to enable us to keep our crops alive. Finally, after 800,000 years. But soybeans go that way. This path and that path go away. This farmhouse I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. This inventor I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. And all of this can be corn. At least for the time being. And we can process food again. This is, oh boy. Alright, we got to be careful now, folks, because I've maybe created a little bit of a minefield here. Let's detonate these. Give the beavers a little bit of a fighting chance to be able to put dynamite down here. They can't reach this. Probably good for them that they can't reach it. Oh, we're gonna have problems here. If these guys get bad water infected, it's gonna be bad news. Because I don't have the science to do. Well, I technically do, but I don't have the extract. Man, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is like an all-time blunders episode. All right, I do not trust that this will not flood. But it seems like we've reached about the... No! Get out of there! Get out of there! Get out of there! No! No! You gotta leave! You gotta leave! No! You're gonna get... Oh! No! 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 Don't do this to yourself. You absolute buffoons. Save yourselves. Turn around now. Turn around. Don't drown. No! Get out! Get out! Get out of here! Now, did you get infected? No, you're just thirsty. After all that, let this be a lesson to you. Not all of us know what we're doing. We definitely do not all know what we're doing. In fact, I'm so bad at this. My God. I'm so bad at this, I did not put the gear workshop back in. Because I was so confident that, oh, I'm going to be able to build a wood workshop. Everything's going to be perfect. Well, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Life is full of disappointment. Anyway, not always, but I got to have gear workshop. So, I think the best thing for us to do is going to be popping in a couple of these. Popping in a couple of these. Fill up this space nicely. And then we can save this one here for the purpose of building a wood workshop. But what I'm more interested in now is where we haven't had failure And that's our irrigation, because now we have all this extra space, which is great. But it's also not great, because now this this little complex of barracks is sitting on some prime irrigable land. So now we've got to solve a problem here. And I've got to move all of our storage somewhere else. Boy, I'm batting 1,000 today, huh? Well, we're not really growing anything up here, so I guess I can't be too mad about it. But you want your beavers to be able to eat without going too far away. But you also have to be able to build stuff. And look at this, isn't even deep enough to swim in. Oh man, I have yeah. There's really no excuse for this. It's the way she goes. How? No, that can't go there. That's a terrible place for one of those. I guess what I'm going to have to do is just build all of our storage over here because I don't have anything else going on. So what's over here? I say as I push the wrong button. Fermented cassava, kohlrabi, berries, fermented soybeans. Huh. Well, over here is kohlrabi, which is not full, so that's fine. Berries. Might as well just go ahead, put these things back in where they're supposed to go. Mark these for emptying. This one can probably pretty quickly get removed. Berry storage, yeah, we're going to have to find somewhere else for that to go. And now I'm full on pine resin too. Man, this is why. Why am I like this? Oh, I said I was going to blow this up too, but instead I sent my beavers into poison territory with all this nonsense. What am I to do? What am I to do? Well, that probably was dumb to do that way, but... maybe it won't. Maybe it won't flood. Maybe I can actually trust them to come over here. Maybe. Or maybe not. As soon as I put that path back in, we get a surge. Nope, it definitely still surges on 1x speed. But it's the middle of the night. Maybe by the next day, it'll cycle. No, there it goes again. Never fails that I end up doing something dumb like this. Well, at the very least, I can continue making the, oh, don't get infected. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. As long as they can get this corner piece in. Yeah, that's gonna really help unchoke this. Hopefully we're done cycling here. Oh yeah, you know what? I've kept these paused this entire time. Good job, me. Good job. Fortunately, we have all these things taken care of, so it's not really the end of the world. But I've become hyper-focused on the wrong things. This is why you don't ever do that, kids. Keep the main thing the main thing. Fortunately, our corn has survived. That's empty. Which means I've got more space to plant stuff. Like, honestly, probably needs to be soybeans, but... maybe at some point we can have enough corn. Maybe. Alright, how's it looking here? I still have some dynamite. So honestly, what I should be doing, even though I really don't need to blow this up, I probably should just continue going this way and decide exactly how I'm going to have this work. So that's 4, that's 8, that's 10. So if I did here, then I know it's going to end up coming to right about here for sure. You know what? We haven't needed all these planks either. Well, we're gonna get it figured out. We're gonna learn one way or the other. At least we have irrigation taken care of over here. That was a big help. That was a big help. Even though this is, I've created like a disaster zone here. So get your pitchforks ready. I can't even roast myself appropriately. Good job, me. I have 40 bad water. Probably got to get somebody in here pumping again so we can continue to make enough explosives to make all this stuff happen. We need to do extract. Oh, there's so much stuff to do. But, you know what we do have? We have 800 science, which means we can get the wood workshop, which means we can build this. Except I probably need to have levees put in here, and then something else on top of this so I can actually do what I gotta do. Man. How did I mess this up this bad? How did I manage to do that? Oh, because you know what else? You know what else I forgot? No, don't do that. You already... No, it's fine. It's fine. I forgot that I had put previously a storage for gears under here. So I should have done that immediately. But now that I have that taken care of, I can actually put this guy right here. Not that we need gears to... Well, we do need gears to build the wood workshop. We don't need gears to operate the wood workshop. I don't think I want to blow this up. This area up. The area where I put the explosives, yes. But now that has somewhere to go. And I think I'm just going to try to keep this right angled best as I can. Blast that as well. And then we can start building this thing to just completely straighten it. We also can't forget that we can put another one of these large water wheels in here, which is part of the reason why I put this where I put it. But this guy right here, and this guy, if we were to build like that, which I think we are definitely not going to want to do. Why am I doing that? No, this needs to be this needs to be built up so we can build on top of it. Well, there always has to be one of these episodes in which I don't do things correctly. Medium warehouse gone. Medium warehouse gone. Space here. This does not need to be occupied. So this can become additional soybeans. As one does. Might as well make this canola. Corn is 60%. I think that's going to be okay. This cannot support putting a food factory in here, which is unfortunate, but maybe for the best, considering how kind of weird this whole thing has been. Food factory might actually work nicely here, depending on if we can get this to play nicely. I think it's going to be possible. I just have to have... Oh yeah, that'll go right into the backside. That'll be perfect. Just have to decide what's going to go underneath here, because we do have space for that. I guess this could be just regular raw corn. Alright, we're going for the redemption here is what we're doing. Gonna try to make this make sense here. 300... for the food factory. There we go. Place that. Yes, please. Thank you. Corn rations. All right. Let's try to get this to work here. All right. So this now, all of this needs to get detonated. I failed to... Wow. Wow. Yeah, I promise I'm trying. I really am. Sometimes things just don't work out. And that's okay. As long as you've learned, which I guess the jury might still be out on that bit. Whether or not I've actually learned anything. Water's still fine. Got a 5-day supply currently for 50 beavers. I'm trying to resist the urge to add more breeding pods, instead just improve well-being. If I can. I know the swimming pool's probably a helpful thing to build. But we probably could use another one somewhere. But the way this is put in here is not really conducive to that. At least I have the wood workshop that can start making treated planks. Which, by the way, I do not have a storage for. I'm gonna just put that there. Think? Yeah, that'll be fine. What are we waiting? Oh, we don't have planks because I have these paused. Good job, me. All right, unpause those two for sure. Of course, this is gonna be what it is. Not gonna set that off yet. So I think all of these. Oh, 3 incapacitated beavers. Well, at least nobody has poisoning. At the very least, that's good. I can't help but feel like I really need to modify how this is. Oh, the corn's coming in. Corn's coming in. No more time to be sad. We're about to have corn. Maybe if I can get the rest of this stuff built. Well, now that we have planks, we might be okay. I have metal blocks. Gears are very slowly coming in. Why is this? Should not be being flooded. This should be basically waterproofed. Okay. That's a problem. Well, it's not going to be a problem forever. It's just going to, be a problem for a long time. I gotta get this. Gotta get this taken care of. That is, that's the very most important thing, is to get these done. Which, yes, I did this very suboptimally. Please roast me in the comments. I'm an adult. I can take it. We gotta do something, man. We gotta get this. We gotta save the episode by doing something that's smart. It does make me feel bad when I don't do a good job of, keeping things under control in these, especially one where we're trying to get as much done as we can in the first 5. But you know how I do things here. I don't cut out when I do stupid mistakes. I don't cut out entire cycles or whatever. If I have to, do a time skip, I'm going to time lapse it so you can see what's going on. But I own everything, warts and all. Sometimes there's a lot of warts. Sometimes there's no warts. Sometimes there's very few, like the first 3 episodes of this that went extremely well. But, you can only do what you can do. And that's it. So. Oh, man. Jeez. All right. Well. Might as well just go ahead and set this off. So that water can go out that way. I forgot that they're still trying to go across this. Okay. All right. Nope, you're doing this now. Well, at least, no one has become infected somehow. Somehow. Some way. No one has become infected, which is, honestly astonishing. But I digress. A platform here with some pathing will allow us to use this to make corn. But, you know what? If by the end of this, we'll have had this straightened out, I think we can consider that to be a reasonable success. Hopefully that is the case. And since we have treated planks, I can go ahead and unlock irrigation barriers. Oh, yes, indeed. And then I can start putting them in here. That's something. Even though we can only build a couple of them. Every little bit counts. And hopefully we'll be able to save a little bit of our land here. Which actually, no. You know what? No. I'm not going to put them there. Because that would be dumb. I'm going to put them here. That actually might be worse. Yeah, you know you can't build on top of those. Well, alright. Oh, this is so aggravating. Oh, I actually thought I was gonna be smart here. Well, at the very least, I can put 3 here, and then try to get something else put in. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That platform's waiting on probably planks at this point. So that's gone. You know, at this point, I'm actually not sure if 4 wide and then this corner is actually going to be enough. It should be. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. But I don't know. I got to think about it. Well, we still have some time. Bad tide approaching. Thankfully we have automated that, so I can't possibly screw that up. Just got to get these last 2 in, and then this should flow. Ah, I did it again. Well, we can force that to come over this way, or not that way. There we go. Remove. Come on. Remove this. There. Go get your stuff. Alright. We're making corn. That's a great victory for us today, having completely full corn rations and nowhere to store them. Well, we have a lot of canola seeds, raw soybeans, raw cassava. Yeah, this is actually kind of a challenging map in terms of how much space you have to grow stuff. Well, Maybe what I should be doing is blasting this down so I can do some storages up here. That is probably gonna have to be what I do. I don't know, like I've lost confidence is what's happened, and now I'm doubting the strategy. You can't do that. You can't do it. That's how the haters win. Sometimes the hater is yourself, and that's something you got to work on. Something I got to work on. But if you refuse to let the haters win, then they can't win. Scientifically proven fact, right there. But now that this is taken care of, let's use our demolish building tool here, and we can actually put levees here, and then we can backfill this. Probably not with actual dirt, but we'll have power on both sides here, and we'll be able to put in another wheel, which right now we're making way more power than we can use. But for too long, we're going to need to get into gravity batteries or engines. Wood-wise, I don't think engines would be a great choice. Gravity batteries would be a great choice, but I have to have somewhere to hang them from, where I actually have the height to generate something. I guess we'll see. The reason why I am detonating this, again, is to put some food storage up here. So hopefully that can get done sooner rather than later. Bad tide, this is going to start sucking up some extra water, but because there's nothing coming in this way. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. Probably, at this point, need to consider adding another breeding pod. Maybe I'll just, yeah, I'll put one more up here in the lonely corner. The place where I said I was going to put well-being stuff and then I didn't do it. So I wasn't exactly sure what to put up here. The Iron Teeth stuff is all big. I feel like the Folktales had a bunch of smaller buildings we could have built, but we didn't do it. In terms of decoration stuff, there is a couple of... because I'm paranoid, I have to check. Okay, good. This is actually working. Yes. There's a couple things we can do. And I think, as long as I'm not going to be building anything else, the smart thing to do... Actually, not build that one there. Unlock this 1x1 roofing tile and pop... Ah, I don't have science! I have 51. Never mind. But this would hit all of these barracks at once. But the only problem is, I don't have enough science, and I'm not going to, because these are, they're not getting anybody in there. Well. What else? What can I reasonably pause? I built these, and that didn't do you-know-what, but, you know, I tried. I really did. I guess, I mean, that's not going to be perfect, but maybe... No, it's not going to do anything. Sheesh. Can't reach that. But putting these two here would kind of maybe help. If I did here and here and here, this is already basically empty. Might as well. I think this would do some sort of marginal goodness. Or I could just be huffing my own copium at this point. Can I do it? No, nobody's gone in here, man. Come on, come on. Alright, well, these can't turn anyway, so guess what? You're all scholars. Go and do your scholarly pursuits. Or I guess none of you are scholars now. Oh, God, I forgot. Oh, no. Oh, that's a tragedy. This is what I should have been doing. I should have been building these over here. That is, well, this isn't going to be perfect, but this is going to help, assuming I can actually get over here. Boy, man. Tell you what. Not been a great time for me today doing this. Well, it's still fun, but it is disappointing because, you know, you always want to do well. You're excited to play the new version of the game. You got people excited about the series, and then hold on, let me fall on my face right now in front of 5,000 people. Oh yeah, sounds great. Well, as long as we're having fun, I guess it's okay. I'm going to go ahead. I know it's only 0.6 days left in the bad tide, but we have to get over here to build these. Absolutely have to make it work. Of course, they're not going to do this. They're doing other stuff. Come on over. The main thing is that they need to build these. I know we're not going to have another bad tide for probably a while, but if you don't take care of it now, you're not going to take care of it later, you know? At least I have pine resin. At least this is going reasonably well. So I have managed to save some tree planting areas. We've gotten another 4 or 5 oak trees in, which is good, I suppose. Canola died. That's unfortunate. But once there's water back in this, we should be okay. They are in the process of building some of these, waiting on the treated planks. And, oh, wow, okay, look at OBS. We're over an hour. Okay, so I absolutely have to go ahead and end soon, which, oh, that's so... It's aggravating. It's aggravating. I want this to be good so bad. So bad. Alright. We do have a 5th breeding pod. It's halfway through breeding of beaver. Slightly ahead of this one, slightly behind this one, and slightly ahead of this one. Alright, well that's going to be okay. So, we're going to have a beaver every 5 days from each pod. So, our numbers should go up a tiny bit. Tiny bit. Should be low 50s next episode by the time we get around to it. I just got to figure out how to optimize what I'm doing. I know I only have 4 beavers in the hauling post. I really shouldn't get rid of those guys. But I'll tell you what I can do, since I have 420 scrap metal. Guess what? I can pause all those guys, and then go do some scientific research. And I can finally unlock this 1x1 roofing tile. And there we go. All these beavers get aesthetic. And I'll go ahead and do this over here if I can click on the correct thing. And that's an easy, like a +1 that almost everybody can get. But look, we're up to 11 because I think it has something to do with the corn. Yeah, look at that, a +2 for corn. Nice. And of course, mangrove fruits. I always forget that's an option for us because we can. This is only 1 block deep. All I had to do was follow the train. No, that game's old at this point. Mangrove fruits. Mangroves. Easy. I should have done it at the start of this episode. And there's at least 1 or 2 of you who commented asking why I hadn't done it yet, so I'm sorry. I should have done it. You were correct. But now we did. As soon as there's water in here. As soon as I remember to open this, which I didn't do. Oh, boy. Well, at the very least, it's taken care of now. Regardless of whether or not it should have been taken care of earlier. Spoiler alert, it should have been taken care of a lot earlier. But eventually we did it. So now, I guess end of episode fun time. You know how it goes. I do genuinely appreciate each and every one of you watching these videos. The response to the first 3 of the series have been fantastic. Truly. Really, really great stuff. And I appreciate all the comments, all the advice, questions, just saying hi, or whatever it is. I'm glad you're here. Sorry this one wasn't as good as the others, but I don't believe in do-overs for the sake of trying to make yourself look smarter than you actually are. Honesty and integrity are very, very important things. And even if it makes me look bad, that's what I'm going to do. And I hope you guys can at least understand and appreciate my position there of wanting to be as authentic as I possibly can. That's part of playing games. Sometimes stuff goes great, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you cause your own problems. I end up causing myself a lot of problems. But I'm always going to be straight with you guys about it. So, again, appreciate the support, Beard Boosters as well. You've been seeing their names on the screen here, making it possible to focus on just having fun playing games and not chasing the algorithm, which I don't particularly care to do. And, of course, for this series, Mechanistry sponsoring the first 5 episodes. Really appreciate the support from the developers of this game. Please do check it out on Steam if you have not already. They did not ask me to promote it. I just love the game. I hope you will too. So we'll see you back again tomorrow for episode 5. And then we're going to see what happens from there. I'm going to ask you guys to vote in a community poll. Probably Monday, when the episode 5 goes up for this, of whether you want me to just continue straight through to episode 6, which will be outside the sponsored series, but it's still going to be the same map, same playthrough, or if you want to go back to the water beavers, which we are currently paused on to do this series. But that'll be on Monday. We still have one more in this challenge to get through tomorrow, which I think we're going to be able to do some pretty cool stuff in that last. Well, it's not the last one, the 5th one. And hopefully hit a pretty major milestone in the first 5 episodes of the series in the first 12-ish cycles. So stay tuned for that. Have a great rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun. Again, I'm so glad we're able to spend this time together. Take care, friends. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.